The Peasants Revolt of 1381 was a major uprising across large parts of England, driven by a combination of socio-economic and political tensions that had been building for several decades. The revolt was fueled by a series of events, including the imposition of the unpopular poll tax, the harsh aftermath of the Black Death, and the perceived injustices of the feudal system. A key aspect that stoked the fires of discontent was the resentment against foreign workers who were believed to be taking jobs from local laborers. The Black Death, which struck England in 1348, had a devastating impact on the population, wiping out nearly half of the country's inhabitants. This dramatic population decline led to a labor shortage, which in turn increased the bargaining power of peasants and laborers. Landowners, desperate for workers, had to offer better wages and conditions to attract labor. However, the ruling class attempted to suppress these rising wages through the Statute of Laborers in 1351, which aimed to cap wages at pre-plague levels. This statute was deeply resented by the working class, who felt they were being unfairly restricted. The imposition of the poll tax in 1380 exacerbated the existing tensions. Unlike other taxes that were based on property or income, the poll tax was a flat rate imposed on every adult, regardless of their ability to pay. This tax was intended to fund military campaigns in France, but was seen as grossly unfair by the lower classes. The tax collectors' aggressive methods further inflamed the situation. People were not only upset about the financial burden, but also the intrusive nature of the tax assessments. Amidst this economic strain, there was a growing animosity towards foreign workers, particularly Flemish weavers and other immigrants who had settled in England. Many native laborers believed that these foreign workers were undercutting their wages and taking jobs that should rightfully belong to Englishmen. This xenophobia added another layer of discontent among the already aggrieved population. The revolt began in Essex in late May 1381, when a group of villagers, incensed by the poll tax, attacked the tax collectors. This act of defiance quickly spread to neighboring counties, with Kent becoming another hotspot of rebellion. The rebels, led by figures such as Wat Tyler and John Ball, a radical preacher, soon converged on London. Their demands were radical for the time: the abolition of serfdom, fairer taxes, and the removal of corrupt officials. On June 13th, the rebels entered London with surprising ease, aided by some of the city's sympathizers who opened the gates for them. The revolt quickly turned violent. The rebels targeted the properties of unpopular officials, including John of Gaunt, the king's uncle, whose Savoy palace was destroyed. Foreign workers, particularly the Flemish, were also targeted. Several were killed in the chaos, their presence a symbol of the broader economic grievances. King Richard II, only 14 years old at the time, initially sought to negotiate with the rebels. On June 14th, he met them at Mile End, where he agreed to many of their demands, including the abolition of serfdom. However, this was largely a ploy to buy time. The following day, Richard met Wat Tyler at Smithfield. The meeting ended in violence when Tyler was killed, allegedly by the Lord Mayor of London, William Walworth. Following Tyler's death, the king took a more assertive stance. He promised clemency to those who dispersed, but began a brutal crackdown on the remaining rebels. The promises made at Mile End were quickly revoked, and many of the leaders were hunted down and executed. Despite its failure, the Peasants' Revolt was a significant event in English history. It marked one of the first major uprisings against the feudal system and highlighted the growing discontent among the lower classes. While the revolt did not achieve its immediate goals, it had a lasting impact. The harsh measures imposed by the Statute of Laborers became increasingly difficult to enforce, and over time, wages for laborers did rise. The feudal system, already weakened by the economic changes brought about by the Black Death, continued to erode in the following decades. The Peasants Revolt of 1381 stands as a testament to the struggles of the lower classes against economic oppression and social injustice, a struggle that resonates through history.